Good afternoon, all. Today's resource person, Dr. Suhas Deshmukh sir, is working as associate professor at Government College of Engineering, Karad. Today we have one more GM who will be delivering the session on this outcome-based education and accreditation process. Dr. Suhas Deshmukh has couple of patents, publications. To his credit, he has received various funding, research projects. He has executed major projects on behalf of Electronics and Telecommunication Department, Government Residence Women's Polytechnic. I warmly welcome Dr. Suhas ji for this session. Suhas sir, am I audible?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. You are audible.
Suhas sir.
Yes, you are audible, and I am
sir,
here.
am I audible to you?
Yes, I am. You are audible, sir. Can you hear me? Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Am I audible to you, sir? Suhas sir, please
Yes,
switch on your video for some time.
Yes, you are audible to me. You can just continue.
Please switch on your video, sir.
Okay.
Okay. We are very much delighted to hear from you, Suhas sir. I request Jadhav madam to continue with the session. Jadhav madam.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you all. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a gorgeous moment to extend my warm welcome to all of participants and today's guest on the behalf of Government Residency Women's Polytechnic, Tasgaon, and our department, Electronics and Telecommunication. The AICTE ATAL sponsored a faculty development program on outcome-based education and accreditation process. It is a great pleasure to welcome such a great personality as our today's guest, Dr. Suhas Deshmukh sir. So, on the behalf of one and all present here, let me please extend a welcome to you, sir. It is a great honor for me to introduce and welcome our today's guest. Now, he is working as an associate professor, mechanical engineering, Government College of Engineering, Karad. He has completed his PhD from IIT Bombay. His area of interest is mechatronics, control system, fuel, precision mechanisms, design and analysis of the mechanical system, MEMS, nanotechnology, and energy generation. He has published his 36 journal papers and he attended and presented national international conference. He also has 9 patent work. Such a good work of that guest. He awarded as a young scientist fast track research project, Department of Science and Technology, Government of India in 2012. He also awarded a best research project, Vaignani Radiation, IIT Bombay, for a design and development of 3D microfabrication system. He also awarded an international award at a Bangalore Nano Conference. A title is a novel electromechatronics focused on laser spot submicron scanning system and microstereoscopy in 2007. He also appreciated by director IIT Bombay for the development of the laser scanner for 3D microfabrication. So we once again the welcome to such a wonderful FDP, and now we have to request to our chief guest to address all the participants. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Is my screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So thank you very much to Tasgaon College for inviting me to share my thoughts, as well as let's have a discussion. Not, I will say it is in a lecture or something. Actually, this kind of a discussion is most important because we are creating a good engineers and future engineers for this. So basically, the idea was to just discuss about what does that Bloom taxonomy means and how this COPO mapping will be done when we are going to do this all. So before moving to these two stuff, I would like to ask, have some kind of an input for you people. So that is, first of all, I'm going to address few questions in this entire session. Okay. So basically question was, what does that OB means? Already most of the people know it. What does that its long form is outcome based education or something. What does its process and how to handle it? We will discuss that also. Then what does that Bloom's taxonomy means and how to define or how to use these POs? I will not say it is in a defining the POs because already it is defined by ICT, NBA committee and so many people, and how to use those POs in our day-to-day work and teaching learning process. Then how to define the COs, what should be the basically the way we need to keep an approach towards defining the COs, and how to connect the COs and POs and how to determine this. So, and then at the end, we'll discuss few of the what does that entire process and how to create an Excel sheet. And I may share few of the Excel sheet templates to you also, so that you people can use those Excel sheets. And finally, we'll have a few question answers onto this. So basically, previously when I was doing engineering, approach of teaching learning process, like what we are doing it. So that is then and now and then. That is what then basically idea. So basically, focus was what we are doing it. So it is focused on input and basically educational activities at an end. Then practice determines the outcomes. What are the practice we do it determines the output, and process for meeting some external standard. That was the basically idea in previous education system in engineering education. So what does this is the process that maybe first year, then second year, and maybe in a diploma or any kind of an education system. So this is nothing but an Cartesian process. The student is coming at this, we are providing some input and getting output, like he is getting results and he is going out. That's the only basically concept when we are doing the engineering. But now that concept was shifted to something else. Why it is shifted? The reason that what are the engineers we are going to create in using this process are not much more helpful when they are doing a practical work in industry. They are facing a lot many difficulties, like they can't know the certain tools, they don't have an appropriate skill set, which that particular industry can directly accommodate or maybe kind of stuff. So that's the reason. And then it was decided, why cannot we connect this output to the input and keep in a kind of a control system for this. This is what typically a control system concept. Bring this into the feedback loop, and then that is the basically aim, and based on this aim, then what are the process, what are the output of this process should be somewhere it is measurable. What we can measure, we can assess the students, we can identify the attitude of the students, all this. And that is nothing but then a way we are going to do certain measurement. And this is my output. And I can say it is instead of that output, I will now say it is an outcome for this. Outcome, I'm going to put some sensors or kind of measurement parameters, and I'm measuring it and I'm verifying it. I may be setting my measuring parameter 1 somewhere here and somewhere I got in 0.75. So I can take a difference of these two, maybe 25 or something. And this difference will now create a corrective action into the process. And that is nothing but a process called as an outcome-based education, that is OBE, outcome-based education. Okay, so what advantage we can get? We can provide an input from so many stakeholders. Based on that, we can decide what should be my outcome. And we can create an engineer which are well employed, which are valued means it is they are having an appropriate attitude to handle that particular situation, particular problem, process, so many things are there. So that is basically we can inculcate more and more different type of skills into the students or candidate, so that these engineers will be more employed and that society will be grown in good, that is grown in better fashion. That is what basically objective. So basically the thing is that, so previous process we have seen it, now current process we have seen it. So basically benefit is what we are going to do. What do we want the students to have to be able to do? Means what kind of skills we are expecting it. How can we best help to student to achieve it? Means we can provide some input. Because nowadays, if you are going to teach into the class, most of the students know the concept. Because the reason is that they have plenty of the tools available with them. What kind of tools? They have on YouTube, they have Google, they have so many NPTEL lectures, and each and every technical skills they can acquire. They don't need a teacher as such. What is expected? The teacher is going to tell them what is to be read and what is to be left. What kind of skills have to be incurred at this current situation, and that is what an input is expected, because this entire digital era is going on, and even everyone come to know that YouTube is one of the best source for knowledge, and that each and every student is going through it. But as a teacher, we have a major role that we need to share the content to the students. We need to give some concept to the students. That is nothing but a more major responsibility of the teachers nowadays. And that is what we can help to achieve best into the students. That is what it is expected. Okay. Then how do we close this loop? That is what we can provide in a continuous quality improvements part. CQI, we can say it. What advantage we can get? We can be more directed. We can have an appropriate coherence in the curriculum. We can have a graduate which are more relevant to the industry, more relevant to what are the skill set required in either industry or maybe other government organization or whatever the place they are going to work at. So that is what basically objective. Then obviously we are going to improve the quality on day-to-day basis, year-to-year basis. That is in the place in your system. Then what is the expectation from the students? Students are expected to able to do kind of a more challenging type of a task other than memorizing, because we know that when I was in childhood, we used to by heart that tables, second table, third table, fourth table or something. But now when I can see my kid, he's not going to by heart anything. He's just keeping that particular concept in his mind and using that concept in each and every place. We, as in a previous generation, we learn to by heart, we learn to memorize each and everything. But nowadays, memorizing is not a requirement. What is that? Computer is there. Each and everything is there at your place, at your fingertips. But how to use that is most important. How to use it, how to apply it, how to reproduce that particular information, we used it, and that is what it is expected from the students. And students should be able to write their own proposals, research proposals, maybe in a simple business proposals, small projects, large projects. They should be able to interact, they should be able to think on their own way, and they should be in a more creative kind of an expectations out here. And they should be able to plan, organize different tasks, They should be involved. They should be more value based or something. They should be thinking in towards the community. They are thinking towards the environment. They should think of to given some generate some jobs like an entrepreneurship or startup business or something. That is what is the expectation from OBE. When we implement the OBE, you can observe this kind of changes you can observe into your system. Basically, input is what? The same input. Teaching staff is there. There is a curriculum, lab work, and maybe some other works like extracurricular activities. These are the inputs for this. What is the process? It is a teaching learning process. Okay. Then student will get a graduate. And now when we are going to do this, we are going to assess these students. Assessing means what we are going to do it. We are giving some exam. They have to write that exam. Nowadays, you may observe each and every student is giving the exam online because of this COVID pandemic situation. And each and every student is getting 100% mark. That is what basically problem faced by most of the faculty's current situation. So now basically why it is happening? Because students have all the resources in their hand. You cannot avoid them to use that resources. Now you have to create a question paper such that students will start thinking. They need to think more. They need to give more input. Some few days back, I seen IIT Bombay, IIT Goa, some question paper was there. That question paper was like this. This is my solution. Now create a question. That is what the way. So you need to bring some kind of creativity into this. And that is what it is possible through creativity for evaluation purpose. And that is used in exams, test, assignment, and improve the quality of this entire stuff. So OBE, so this was in a previous, this OBE has changed the interaction. Here up to this we have seen in previous generation. Nowadays, these people are going to be involved in development of all entire teaching learning process. What kind of a development expected? We want to change the curriculum. The reason for changing the curriculum, because it should meet to current situation. We could not able to teach, we need not to teach the old fashioned Newton's law and solving those only simple problems or something. What is it is expected? How that Newton law is to be implemented into practical stuff. That is what it is expected. Who is going to tell where it is used? Practically, that is what you may go to the industry advisory board. You may go to, you can just interact with the students. What is their expectation? What is their parents' expectation? Alumni expectation? Alumni is the main source of your information. The reason for this, because they have gone through your teaching learning process, this entire process they have gone through. And they know what is positive end in this and what is negative end in this. And these alumni will give a perfect input, what is to be changed to improve this teaching learning process. And that is what it is, a shift is expected from this. Okay, we can have a different assessment parts into this. Basically, when you look at accreditation point of view, don't worry about the accreditation. Accreditation is the end of the end of this entire OBE process, because OBE, once you implement the OBE, they are just observing whether you are implementing perfectly or not, or what are your ideas, how you are going to implement. But basically, when you are implementing the OBE, it starts with a vision and mission of the institute. Once this institute will have a multiple department, maybe mechanical, electrical, computer or something. Then you are going to define what kind of a program, maybe mechanical program. You are going to define some kind of an objectives. These are called as a program educational objectives. And then this program outcomes, these are the objectives, not outcomes. Objectives are like, it should not be 100% satisfied. Outcome, I can expect it should be 100% satisfied. Okay, but here I can have a certain objective. I can say I want to be a PM of India, but it is my objective. It is not expected it should get satisfied. I can just progress towards that particular objective. That is what we can do it. But outcome, we need to do the specific. Yes, I want to teach this subject for this particular student so that they will get this particular amount of information. And that is what it is called as a program outcome. That's what this is given by this NBA. Okay. They have given altogether 12 POs for any engineering course. They have made it generalized. And based on these 12 POs, we are now teaching this particular mechanical branch, you can just, or electrical branch, you can take up that, and that branch, you have in multiple courses. Some are the core courses, some are electives, some are open course or something, audit course, so many courses. So now each course will have a certain course objectives. So if I take a finite element as a subject, what objective will be there? I want to give the brief overview, or I can give an awareness. What does that numerical methods means? How that numerical method is embedded into finite element? How that finite element will have an applications? And then I can say, students, now analyze this particular systems. After analysis, I will say, now I have this particular problem statement, create your own system. That is what the way you can define the CO in different fashion. So first of all, try to understand the students' memorizing, whether they are appropriately they are using their memory, or whatever they have learned it, they know it or not. This is what a memory or basic understanding I can say. Then next part is whether whatever the knowledge they have acquired, whether they are able to analyze that knowledge or not. That is the second stage of this. After analysis, whether they could able to apply to certain place, applying to certain particular application or not. That is the third stage. And after application, can they create something new? That is what creativity we can expect out of it. And these are the long-term objectives, like in a vision mission of the institute. It may be in a maybe 5 years, 10 years kind of a plan we can create. That is program educational objective also will be 5 years, 10 years certain plan. And this PO and COs will be in a short term, because we are concentrating for in a single year for this. After 1 year, you can change it, but it is expected to keep that for next 1 or 3 years continuously, so that you will find a uniformity in the evaluation. Okay, CO evaluation means if I have a CO 4 COs in this year, and next year I may have 3 COs, and that will get, I can't evaluate that particular students in all the places. That is what it is expected. At least 3 years you keep it the same, 3 to 4 years. So how it is happening? So first of all, you are getting input from the stakeholders. Inputs, alumni, then industry, then students, then parents, then maybe some social work, social kind of work where it is expected that they are also expecting something from engineering education. These all are going to give me input, and these are called as stakeholders. Okay, these stakeholders will give an input, and based on this input, you are going to define vision and mission of the institute. Once you define this vision and mission, this institute will have a multiple department, maybe in a mechanical department, electrical department, or something. So individual program, this is a typical department is called as a program in this NBA stuff. And this program will have a certain objective. These objectives are called as PEOs. And these POs are coming from NBA accreditation. These are the 12 POs we can use it for this. Once we acquire these PEOs, should be such that they are going to satisfy somewhere by using this 12 POs. Then you are going to implement into your practically into your teaching learning scheme, that is learning outcome, that is CO, I can say. And then I'm going to evaluate that. I'm going to put this assessment, maybe using a class test, maybe an end-sem exam, maybe I'm going to use so many other tools like an assignment, I can give a project, so many things. Once we're done, we are going to determine a COs for this. Once I got the COs, Then again, I'm using this. I need to connect the COs and my POs here. Here your COPO mapping will come. This I need to connect it. And once I connect this, then POs will get connected. Then COPO mapping, again, you need to connect it to the POs. Like this, we need to do it. And then these POs will be evaluated by knowing this COs, POs, this mapping, and all those stuff. And those POs will ultimately leads to the vision and mission of the institute. That is what in a basically big picture of this outcome-based education. So it is in a typically outcome-based education is a quality improvement scheme. Okay. So first of all, say what you want to do it, then prove it, and then improve it like this. You go into the looping, and this is typically a kind of an iterative kind of process. Okay. Then basically, so this already we have seen. So when we are going to implement this OBE, we are taking help of your curriculum, you're having enough faculties and facilities, means like an equipment, staff, all this. These are going to implement teaching learning scheme. In this teaching learning scheme, you can bring some innovative ideas like in a flipped classroom. You can have a project-based learning, which will enhance because students are not ready to listen for 1 or 2 hours continuously. What they are expecting, yes, I need some activity so that I can learn on my own. That is what the way innovativeness we need to bring it in your teaching learning process. And then you are going to estimate the graduates with outcomes, and then you go on putting this into the loop. And what this process is called as a continual quality improvement kind of a scheme. So this gives a basically idea. First of all, you have designed a PO, CO. So you have defined your vision mission of the institute, and then you have defined your program educational objectives, and then come to your course or particular department. First of all, identify what is the levels of the Bloom's taxonomy. What that levels means, first of all, basic level is remembering, second is understanding, then application, then analyzing, and then he should able to evaluate something. He should work like a teacher or something, and then he should able to create something. That is what these are the labels, and we need to inculcate all these labels into our students. And this is comes from the Bloom's taxonomy, and then comes with an. So these Bloom's taxonomies are defined within a certain performance indicator or a competitiveness, that is a course competency, we can say. And this course competency comes through the program outcomes. Once this program outcomes and then comes to the course outcome. This course outcome will lead to a mapping of this mapping of these two outcomes, that is PO and CO. And we are using this Bloom's taxonomy, performance indicator, course competency labels, and everything. Okay, and then we are coming with this matrix. And most of the people, maybe some of the institutes are undergoing NBA process. We create so much of the mess with this particular matrix. Okay, then thus will come to the courses. We need to teach that courses. Okay, then we need to create some timetable for that, how to implement this, and we need to do a kind of an assessment. In this assessment, what we do, we may go for TA, we go for class test, and SEM exam, then all this, and we evaluate them. After evaluation, we determine the outcome. Means ultimately we have defined these outcomes here. We are evaluating at this location. Okay. Once you evaluate, then we already defined the connection between POs and COs. Okay. And we can now bring this particular sheet of CO and map onto this, and we'll get on a program. And that is what basically expectation from implementation of this. And most of the people will face a difficulty. Why should we do all this? We already doing this. Okay, so that question may arise. The reason for doing this, some of the objectives, like I want to teach a finite element subject or electrical subject or something. So I want to verify whether that particular student understood or not. In previous case or previous generation, what they have faced, the faculty is coming in the class, they are giving in a 1 or 2 hour lecture. We all are listening for a quite good manner, and we are taking all the notes, and he's going out, and he will put some exam at the end of this. But during this entire semester, we could not able to solve most of the doubts because we don't have an interaction. We don't had an appropriate discussion on that particular topic. And that is what continuously, if you keep this into the loop, that surely will lead to a good success. That means we can correct what are the corrections or some doubts at that particular location itself. And that is what it is expected from the outcome-based education. If you look into the Bloom's taxonomy, okay, so it has previously, it was a learning to think. That is what it is expected. You are going to learn and to think something. But nowadays, what is expecting? You think so that we can learn something new. That is what in a change it was happening. That is what in a transformation it is expected, because you want to learn within a few smaller time within a larger stuff. And what are the knowledge created till the date by all the scientists and all the people over the entire world is huge. You can't analyze each and everything in the nights. And that is what it is expected. So basically, previously, Bloom's taxonomy will have a basics, knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. But nowadays, it was changed with this, flipped these two words. Synthesis is nothing but ultimately analyzing multiple solutions for a particular problem. And that is what I can say, creating new solutions for this. And that's what it is flipped. These two words, evaluation is kept in downward place, and synthesis kept, synthesis, I can say it is in a creativity, is kept at the top level. And which is, this is the only one change we down into the Bloom's taxonomy. And what is the basically outcome? Basically, we are first of all OBE, then we are education, we have defined it here. Then same outcome base we are defining in the curriculum. Okay. Same outcome base we are going to define in learning and teaching process, learning process, I can say. And finally, we are also using this outcome base into the OBA, that is assessment. So that these are the three to four words are used for analyzing this outcome-based education. So this is what an OBE framework. You can Google it and you can get this slide. I will not go in more details of the detail about the slides. So what is the basically administrative setup is expected for this OBE? First of all, the course, who is going to teach? That is a particular faculty, and that is named as a course coordinator. Module coordinator means I can club this subjects like in a mechanical. If you look into the mechanical engineering, I can have a thermal group, I can have a manufacturing group, I can have a design group like this. And these are the modules for it. I can have core courses, I can have elective courses, I can give some software-based courses, I can give program-based courses. These are the modules we need to create. And these are called as a coordinator by a particular faculty. These are module coordinators. And these module coordinators are going to give the input to the program coordinator. And this program coordinator is typically called as a head of the department. In our language, I can say, this is head of the department. And this head of the department is now reporting to quality index, that is assessment committee, I can say. It is an exam committee, which is going to give. And then department advisory board is going to help us to improve on this. And then IQAC cell will coordinate all this stuff. So if you look into the program outcomes, these are the 12 program outcomes. Basically, first is knowledge, develop a knowledge among the students. Second is create an ability to analyze that. That is a problem analysis. Third one is to design and develop certain solutions for kind of complex kind of problems. Complex problems are not all the time think into something complex is more complex as well. So better, I can tell you one simple example. This is my bar. Okay, complex problem. How can I make it more complexity? I can include complexity like this. This is bar. It is fixed it here, and I apply the force onto this. Okay, and then I will say I want to determine the deflection of this. This is a simple, easy-going problem where you can get the quite easily solution. And then what I will do, I will now this bar I will modify with maybe a two material, or I will put it some hole inside it. Okay, hole inside it. So obviously this will lead to something more complexity. This is going to change my area of this. How can I do this analysis? And another one, I can make it more complex. I can divide this bar. I'm going to have one component of this part is an aluminum, this part is in maybe in a steel or something, and then I'm going to do that. This is what another complexity. One more complexity I can provide now. This force was fixed, okay, constant force. I can give this force something sinusoidal, something, okay, and then I will do the analysis. Again, it improve the complexity. And then instead of this sinusoidal force, now I will give a random force like this. And I will analyze how much amount of stresses will generate, what will be the deformation, what will be the shape of my vibrations and everything. So that is what in a complexity. And now at the end, I can now think, where can I use that particular knowledge? Means where I can use, yes, I can use this particular sheet or particular kind of a problem in engine mounting something, or I can use it for an structural design. That is what in a final applications. That is what the way we need to look that complexity can be increased small, including something more and more focus. That is what is expected. So likewise, you can have the first of all, this POs, first PO will give a basic knowledge for it. Next is analysis. Third is helping you to inculcate a skill of design and development of the solutions. Then fourth PO will help us to conduct an investigation. Means I should able to analyze. If I know the results, I should able to understand what kind of forces or what kind of a condition was that to create this situation. That is what an investigation I can say. Or I should able to interpret the data. I should able to analyze the situation, what will happen in next, and that kind of investigation we can do it. Then, so whenever we are doing this, whether we are using an old-fashioned tools or we are using some modern tools. These modern tools are not only, it is typically softwares or something. These modern tools may be anything. We can use in a neural network, you can use in a artificial intelligence, you can use in a IT-based kind of tools, or you can use in a more complex equipments like thermal camera and so many things. And that is what a modern tool uses, whether you are using those modern tools or not. Then that kind of a skill set is to be generated out of this PO5. Sixth PO will be connecting to you to the society, that particular students to the society. Whether we are implementing some extracurricular activities, NSS camp or something. And then these are, whether their students are attending or not, applying that particular, what are the engineering knowledge into this. For that purpose, I would like to give one simple example for this engineers and society is nothing but a Sitara. Sitara is nothing but created by IIT Bombay, which is connecting to the rural part of the area, which is now helping, engineers are helping rural part so that they can create a very low cost kind of solutions for their difficult problems. I also attended few of the NSS camps in IIT Bombay. During that, what we have done, we have created a small tank into the village. Also, we have helped them to create a small toilets with a very low cost. We have provided certain design. That kind of an activity is expected to provide into the society. Then, whether these, what are the activity, whether they are environmental friendly or not, whether they are sustainable or not. That also skill we need to give to the students. Then last skill, that is what an ethics, whether they are applying what are the ethical principles in their life or not. And how to inculcate means we can give them some art of living kind of courses, and we can provide them stress-free life, how to live in a stress-free life, how to keep ourselves more ethical or kind of things. Then next comes, can we put in students, 2-3 students into a single group, let them work together and try to understand how they are interacting with each other. So this kind of analysis was not done when we are doing an engineering. Only it is told you just go and get the project done. Don't tell me anything. That kind of problems we faced it, but nowadays it is not expected. We need to keenly observe whether these kids are working in team or not, and that is what PO number 9 it is. Next is PO number 10 will help us to communicate. Communication is not expected all the time in English or a typical standard language. Whether whatever he understood, whether he is able to communicate or tell somebody or explain somebody is going to happen or not, that is what it is to be verified, and that is what it is expected from communication. You can teach them more languages, like in Sanskrit is there, then other languages, and that also it is we can go ahead with this. Then 11th part is whether he is able to manage this project, whether he is able to understand the finances behind it, and that is what in the engineering management principles he can use it. And last one is a lifelong learning skills. Whatever 4 years he's spending very enthusiastic 4 years in our 4 years, maybe 3 years some places like in a diploma institute. So obviously these 3 to 4 years he may be learning so many things. Whether whatever he learned, whether he's taking to the entire rest of the life or not, that is what is expected. That is what it is expected from this PO number 12, that is a lifelong learning skills. And then along with this 12 POs, that particular department, particular course, okay, particular course means I can have a design course or thermal course or something, can define certain specific objective. So if you are going for a first time NBR, your entire 2 condition, tier 2 means it is a university based curriculum, or tier 1 is autonomy based curriculum. If you are going for a tier 2 condition, you need not to worry about these PSOs in initial phase. But if you have autonomous means you are going to have an authority to change your curriculum. You can change your assessment scheme, you can change your teaching style and each and everything. But an university-based curriculum, it is applied over the entire university. So in that case, you can't change the assessment technique. So it is defined by a typical university. That's what it is defined in another category, that is tier 2 category. And in tier 1, you have more flexibility. The reason for giving the more flexibility is the only thing that you people have, that particular institute will have enough faculties which can think on their own, and they can implement what are their thought process and develop the skills into the students. And that kind of PSOs, we can define it. So certain PSOs are defined typically for a particular branch. I can, if I look into the civil engineering, I'll now given a more concentration on the structural part of it. I will also given a concentration on water supply and sewage system. I can also given a concentration on transportation. I'm giving a specific courses for this, specific input for this, and then it is called as a PSOs. So most of the people will get confused why we need to define PSO. That's what I'm going to give more details about it. So these are the 4 Bloom's, 6 Bloom's taxonomy levels. So these are remembering, understanding, applying. These are the basic Bloom's taxonomy, and these analyzing, evaluating, and creating are called as higher order thinking skills. Okay, obviously we need to concentrate on this all basic levels also, but the student should be having this kind of creative attitude. They should be able to evaluate whatever they are going to do, the experimentations, or doing a kind of hypothesizing, criticizing, they should be able to analyze the situation or analyze the particular findings or phenomena and kind of things. So when you are having this Bloom's taxonomy levels, you can just basically, when you want to analyze and remembering, means it should be able, that particular candidate should be able to list, memorize, relate, show, locate. These words will come into this. Okay, when you are asking the questions, this will come. And what kind of questions we can, or assessment we can do it? We can provide them quiz, we can provide them to define something, because they have, we want to check only memory, and that's what defining, then fact sheets, then worksheets and tests, and all this we can include it. So what kind of questions? We can create a question which will test their memory only, not more than that. And that is what I'm memorizing. Okay. Understanding means whether whatever they learned in the previous step, whether they able to understand, whether they able to summarize it. If somebody has shown a certain picture and after he has that he kept it to his memory. Now you ask the question, what you have seen in the picture? What kind of a map was there in the question? That is a picture. What kind of a picture? What is its location? What is its probable location? And what they are doing it, all this we can call as a summarizing or classifying. What is its category? All this comes into the understanding phase. And obviously we can provide certain examples to analyze this. We can have a quiz, list, theory label, outline, all this we can include. These words we need to use for Bloom's taxonomy levels. And basically potential activities are right there. Let them write on their own words, draw the pictures for a particular event or story, report to the class. All this comes under the understanding part. After that, applying means what are the remembering, then understanding, and then now once you understood, obviously you should able to apply. Whether should able to present it, whether he should able to translate it, whether he should able to manipulate it or illustrate, whether he should able to do certain calculations or create or practice something. And that is what it is expected from this. What kind of equations we can construct in a certain model out of whatever you have seen it. Okay, that is what in a few equations you can just go through this, because lot many slides are there. That's what I'm skipping faster. Analyzing in whether he should able to categorize it, whether he should able to distinguish, he should able to create an equations, experiment, inspections, an examination, all this he should able to compare, construct, survey, all this. And this is what will lead to a typical survey. He should able to create a database, analyze that database, he should create an abstract, he should be able to report it. That is what an analyzing stage. These are typical potential activities for that. Then evaluation process. So in evaluation, what you are going to do is, so you are checking hypothesis, criticism, all this stuff you are going to do it. Creating means something new you are going to compose. You are creating means you are creating something new, means maybe leading to a kind of a new product or leading to a new program or new concept altogether. And that is what it is expecting from the creating part of it. So these are the some questions, higher order questions. So now we'll look at and how to, this is what learning labels, creating, evaluating, analyzing, applying, understanding, and remembering. And when we are going to do this assessment, what kind of a technique we can apply for this? If you want to memory, check its memory or remembering, understanding, you can provide a fixed hour exam. And that exam may be a class test, maybe as an MSEM exam or something. And when we are going to analyze the students through for its analysis skills, evaluation skill, or creativity skill, in that case, you can provide them course project because it is not typically defined. Then you can provide mini project, minor project, or some bigger project. You can involve them in research project and like that. That is what the way you can have assessment of these Bloom's taxonomy levels here. Now we'll look at what is the way we can do the assessment. How can we measure it? Up till now, we have just seen what should be the content of teaching learning process. Okay, what should be the content means my teaching learning should involve memorizing something, understanding something, then analyzing something, then evaluating something, then creating something. Okay, but now how can I measure it and how can I connect with my basically outcomes that is defined by NBA, that is PO, I can say, and how can I define my COs for this? So before going for this, so what kind of an assessment you are going to do it? So there will be an assessment will be in two ways. One is direct assessment, where we can get the direct marks for it. That is what it is called as a direct assessment. In this direct assessment, you can have a class test. Okay, you can have end-sem exams or university exams or something, or whatever you can give the name, where the students are going into the class, giving an exam for fixed some number of hours, maybe a lab project or whatever this lab exams and everything comes under these direct tools. Also project evaluation, rubrics and everything comes under this direct evaluation. And then next is indirect evaluation. Indirect evaluation means what are the teaching learning process, because most of the skill set we have sent the students in to have a tree plantation. We can't assess them. We can't give the marks for them. The reason, basically, how can we evaluate for this? And that is the only way we can evaluate is to get the survey of it, whether they have enjoyed it or not, how much they have learned out of it. We can create a questionnaires, and that is what it is called as a survey. Such type of survey we can have each and every place. Like if I taught in a particular course, maybe in a mechatronics course I taught it, then I can have a course end survey. Then the students are going out, they are going to pass out. I will create an exit survey. Then I can have I will get the particular course and I will collect the information from all the faculty, whether this course is sufficient or not. That is what a faculty survey. Then alumni survey, then program survey, like this. So most of the time, what it happens, we are very much eager to put each and every in this matrix, each and everywhere marks, maybe 2 mark, 1 mark, or 3 mark, or something. It is not expected that each and every that is a blank spaces should be filled out here in this COPO map. What it is expected, what are the taste? Obviously, in this taste you have seen, this is knowledge, this is analysis, then design tool, and this much. So during this course, we concentrate more on this four POs. If you are looking for project something, you are going to concentrate on maybe on a 7, 8, 9 something. Okay, and that is what it is expected. And if you look into the exit survey, we may be creating a questionnaires for all the POs, and we are asking the students whether you got this knowledge or not, like this, and that is what it is expected. So we'll now create a COPO. This kind of a sheet we have seen it in most of the places. That is this particular analysis of structures, CO 1, 2, 3, 4. Here only 2 COs are there mapped with 2 POs or something. And we may come up with an equation. How can I put this 3 mark, 2 mark, or 1 mark? So that is what most of the time we face a difficulty. Why I should give 3 marks there? Why should I not say it is in a 2 mark or 1 mark or something? That is an equation, and that is what it is solved in a simple technique. I can just come back to my Excel sheet so that I can give a brief idea about this. This is COPO. So do you have any questions? I can take up in a few questions and then we'll move towards the next part of it. So can you hear me?
Yes, sir. You are audible.
Yes.
Yes,
Is
sir.
there anyone having any doubts or questions till the top point, so that I can take up in a few questions and then I will continue rest of the presentation.
Sir, one doubt I was having that from this vision we are evaluating, means we are mapping mission and then PEOs and this program outcomes are established by the AICT. So we have to design all these things taking in mind this program outcomes. Means we have initiated from vision, mission, then PEO objectives, and we have to align it to the program outcomes. This is somewhat I'm confused.
Okay. So if you look into the program outcomes, just go to this program outcome statement so that we can quite easily understand. Okay. What is this
Yes.
program outcome? First number, it is an engineering knowledge. This can be for any kind of a branch. It is not expected that typically it should be in a mechanical or electrical or something. Understand?
Okay.
So that's what these POs are nothing but guidelines created by NBA. Okay. Because how that NBA committee will evaluate your institute? They should have a certain base for it. And that's what they have created these POs such that your institute is also in lining with these objectives. These are nothing but I can say it is an objectives for a particular course that they should impart knowledge, they should able to analyze, they should be able to design, develop or something. Okay. So that's what POs are defined in hand, and these POs are not to the specific branch, or it uh, should not be all the time concentrated onto this. But basically, when you are going to do any kind of an activity, so you are somewhere you are going to connect any of this, any of the PO in your entire work, and that's what you should. These are the standards created. Now you need to connect these standards with this. That is what it is expected. Okay. That's
So,
what vision mission
yes.
vision mission is nothing but a typical vision of the institute is creating good engineers so that they can use that knowledge into the society. They should use the knowledge in the industry. That is what it is expected. How they are going to do it? Obviously, they should be having these skill sets, POs. How much POs they have covered it. Okay, outcomes, how much they have acquired it. And based on that, they will be that particular engineer will be implement practically into their life. And that is what it is expected. Okay.
So,
Yeah.
sir, while devising this program educational objectives, so the base should be program outcomes or base should be that our mission.
Oh, see, when we are going to define a vision mission, what we are doing expecting, we are general statement we are putting. Yes, my student should be an engineer with this kind of a skill sets. Okay. Now,
Okay.
to achieve this skill set, you are looking to the POs. What kind of an outcomes we are expecting from this kid? Okay. And so in between, you have a typical department. This POs you are mapping within a course outcome. POs are for a particular department, like in a mechanical department. For a mechanical department, what I can do? Yes, my student should know each and every stuff of the mechanical engineering. This is my first PO will be there. Second PO, I want to give more knowledge towards computer engineering, like computational techniques. I'll give a more base for them. I will give a more awareness towards software, or maybe they are more aware about the programming. This will be my second POs. Okay. Third POs, yes, my students should able to create something new practically. So anyway, you are using these objectives from these POs itself, not in creating something new. Okay. And these should be ultimately connected to your vision mission statement. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Is there any other question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, you can.
Shashikant Landge from Tata Saheb Kore Institute of Engineering Technology, Polytechnic.
Yeah.
Sir, question is, as per our talk, program outcomes are not specific to the department, and whereas program educational objectives are program department specific, right, sir?
बराबर है. हाँ, that is what. POs are generalized. POs are to the typical branch or to the typical program or to the typical department, I can say. Yes, correct. And what is your doubt?
And also course outcomes also department specific.
Yes,
COs.
department specific. It is not expected that some courses you can provide. Like I want to teach an Internet of Things to mechanical students. Just look at it. Okay. So my course objective will be, first of all, yes, my students should know mechanical engineering. They should able to gain the knowledge of how can I interface this mechanical system to the electronic stuffs. Okay. And once they interface it, then I will give a knowledge to the computer engineering also. Okay. Sometimes whenever you are going to play with an interdisciplinary course, it is not, it is expected that you are going to interfere with other departments also. That also you need to take care. Okay.
All the departments, PEOs and COs should be interdisciplinary.
Yeah, I can have this PO, because nowadays what is expected when we are getting graduate, when I have a previous generation field, so it is not expected. If you are not a mechanical engineer, okay, more than sufficient. But nowadays it is not expected. You should know the computer programming, you should know the computer analysis, you also should know the chemical engineering, you should also know this is what an interdisciplinary knowledge is expected by the industry or expected by most outside stakeholders. And that's what we are going to clubbing this, mixing this, so that the students will have a multidisciplinary skill sets for this. Yeah. Is there any?
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, now we'll move towards our Excel sheet. How to do this? Okay, so this is what a more interesting stuff. Okay, so here we created an Excel sheet for basic circuit theories course, because I got it from my electrical department faculty. As an NPA coordinator, I can get anybody's sheet. There is no issue. Anyway, so basically, this is basic circuit theory course. We have defined certain COs. What kind of COs we have defined? Just look at this COs. 4 COs we have defined. Students should able to do the analyze the DC circuits. Students should able to analyze AC, DC circuits and complex engineering problems, able to demonstrate or formulate the solution, and able to select and apply the mathematical tools like a Laplace transform, Z transform, or evaluate first and second order circuit or something. Okay, these are my objective, and based on these objective, I will define the entire syllabus for it. And then this syllabus I will teach into the class. That is the teaching learning process. During this teaching learning process, what we are going to do it, we are going to give lectures, theory lectures, we are conducting practicals, we are giving an assignment and all this stuff. Okay, this is my input to the students. Now I want whatever I taught to the students, whether they understood or not, whether they able to do this, whatever my teaching is sufficient, fulfilled or not. And that is what it is done through the assessment, like in a CT1, CT2, and then I'm having an assessment, that is a teaching assessment, I can say, and then end sem exam. Okay. Then here we are going to typically dividing this into 100 marks to the 15, 15, 10, and 60 like this. Okay. Then now I will now assess CT1 part, okay, of CO1, okay, analysis of this of 4 marks. I'm going to create an question paper of CT1, okay, which will take care of CO1, CO2, CO3 like this. And then I have a 4, 3, 8 or something. Okay. And if I add up this, it will come to the 15 marks. Same is with the CT2. I'm now completed this part, CO1. That's what I will concentrate on 2, 3, 4 or something. And last exam also I will concentrate on TA. TA will be covered in all the 4 courses. And ESC, I'm going to give the weightage to each and every CO. Means why I'm going to use the weightage for this? Because ultimately I want to evaluate the CO1 as in a certain specific number. Okay, I need to create an questionnaires on this CO so that total 9 marks will be evaluated in the ESC, 3 marks for this, 4 marks for this, like this. Okay, the same way I can do it for the rest of the COs. Once we define the CO assessment way, now you look at how can I create a map between PO and CO. Okay, so there will be two sheets. One is this and another is a COPO mapping sheet. In this COPO mapping sheet, these 4 COs, this is my CO1, this is my CO2, CO3, and this is my CO4. Okay, and these are the POs. This is my PO1. Okay, engineering knowledge, basic knowledge. This is generalized, but this generalized PO is somewhere connecting to understanding the basic knowledge of engineering. Yes, it is understanding. Also, it is connected to some other one. Okay, second CO, third CO, fourth CO, like this. So this is nothing but the POs. For this particular POs, that already NBA committee or NBA department has defined some competency levels. I can zoom it. You can visualize properly. Okay. So basically, first competency level in this PO1 is the demonstrate and a competency in the mathematical modeling. Means I should be able to use mathematical, like maybe an algebraic equation, maybe matrix-based equation or something. And this competency level 1, then competency level 2, and then competency level 3, 4, like this. I can have 3 to 4 competencies for this. For this per competencies, I will have a certain performance indicators, okay? And this performance, sorry, it is going to move it fast, I think. Okay, and this performance indicator, apply the mathematical techniques. Now I can give a yes or no for this. Yes, we are going to do it. That's what I put this CO1, I'm going to cover this. CO2, I am going to cover it. And same way, I can have a CO3 also. CO3, but CO4 is typically practical knowledge we are going to incur. That's what we are not kept this CO4 for this. Okay, and then second competency level, third competency level, fourth competency level. Then same way this performance, see these are the performance indicator. The same way I'm going to do it for the rest of the performance indicators, and I'm going to do this. And I'm going to count how many yes I collected into this. This is first yes, this is second yes, third yes, fourth yes. If it is more than 3, I can say it is yes. I can have I can create a certain formula. If this is yes, give the 1. If it is y, then no, then give the 0, like this. If it is so, likewise, it is added. It is nothing but an average of all this. Okay, multiplied by 3 by 5, because I consider performance indicator 5 here. Okay, this is my first indicator. Okay, this is my first indicator, then second, third, and then fourth, and then fifth. And what we are doing, 5 perform. That's what I divided 5 here. Multiplied 3 because we want to convert that into scale of 1 to 3. Okay, we have total 5 performance indicator, but out of 5, I want to now map to the 1 to 3. 1 to 5 is there. I want to map on 1 to 3, and that's what I will take an average of this multiplied by 3 by 5. This will give, this will give a number 2. Reason for 2, because somewhere I not mapped one of the performance indicator here. If I put here y, obviously that will convert into 3 here. You can just look at here. So this will come to the 3. Yes. If I remove here, I'll just remove this. It will come to the 2. That is what the way you can evaluate. Now the same for CO1, CO2, CO3, CO4. This is done for a PO. That is a PO1. Okay. Same kind of applications. You can do it for PO2. Yes. You can have a performance indicators, competency labels. I can provide y. I can have this all sums, and finally I will get this number. I can count how many Ys are, how many performance indicators are there. Based on that, I need to convert that maybe a 7 performance indicator. And based on 7 performance indicator, I want to convert into 3 on the scale of 3. What I can do it, I can have a 7 by 3 multiplication or something. So here it is, you can just look at here. So here also done the same thing. Okay, the same is here also. The same for all the POs it is done. This is what the way you can create a big sheet. And this sheet, once you create it, you need not to worry about it. Once that mapping is over, don't worry. Once that complete sheet is done, okay, now I want to evaluate what are this PO and CO. I can now connect this sheet to this. Yes, PO1, okay, CO1. I can have a CO1 here. Okay, this is my CO1 and this is my PO1. What is the value here? 3. And if I remove one of this, it will come to the 2. Obviously, it will come to the 2 something here. So some connection problem will be there. Okay, likewise, you can connect it and we can create a matrix. What is the use of this matrix? Ultimately, what it tells, this is the objective outcome we are expecting. This is what it is expected in the program outcomes. Okay, out of this program outcome, we are contributing this small amount, maybe 3, maybe 2, maybe 1 or something. And that is what in a contribution we are going to include it. And this is what in a single number will tell us the contribution of CO1 into the PO1. Same with the PO2, same with the PO3 like this. Okay, and then we can now create an entire matrix. This is what it is called as a course articulation matrix. Okay, once you create this course articulation matrix, now you know that PO1, if I'm going to have this PO1, means my course is going to connect to the more connected to the PO1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or something, not connected to 6, 7, 8, 9. These are the skill set we are not going to impart during my course. It is not expected. Each and every course should impart all the skill sets required for all the POs. It is not expected. So now once we create this matrix, now you can bring this matrix to another sheet where you are going to actually create numbers, actually create a final outcome or determine the final outcome. So in this case, now we are conducting city 1, we are conducting city 2, we are conducting TA, we are going to have, yes, okay. So in this case, attainment level, you want to measure it, okay. So here, you can now have a roll number, student name, and they have acquired whatever the city 1 mark, city 2 mark, then TA mark, and then final end marks. Out of that, you know that CO1 is contributing this much. So I'm going to create a sum of this all numbers and divide by this, all this addition and subtraction something. Okay, and then I'm mapping to on this 1 to 3 scale. So this is what a typical normalization. Multiply with this 3, will get a total number. That is what the way you can do it. This is what a mapping you done it. CO mapping you're done for all this. Okay, once you got the COs, okay, CO mapping you're done, because CO mapping will depend on what this type of sheets. Okay, this sheet. So this is what I take an average, and if the particular student is acquiring 100% skill set, means it is CO1 will be contributed this much. CO2 will be contributed by this student 0.84%, by then 87%, 83%. Okay. The same way you can just go on doing for each and every students. You got this course outcome. This is what it is a entire sheet will tell you. This is whole is course outcome, and this is assessment. And this assessment you are converting into 1 to 3 scale. Okay, 1 to 3 scale, and then this becomes in a course attainment. I can say this much amount of attainment we done it. CO1 attended by first student 3, CO1 attended by second student is 2, CO1 attended by a third student is only 1. Likewise. Okay, this is nothing but a measuring you are going to do. Once you create this sheet, you need not worry because only you have to just cut paste this marks and name of the students. Everything will be taken care. Okay, only one addition you are going to do into this. Then, once we done it, then come to the program outcome. So this sheet, you know it, this entire sheet, and this sheet is used for determining PO attainment. Now I can take an average of this because these numbers have already we have created from this, and then you can take an average of this, and then you can now have an PO attainment levels. Okay, these are the PO attainment levels you can get it. So this is what the way you can create a mapping of it, determining the outcome and kind of things. If you have any questions, you can ask me now, so that we can move to the next part of it.
Sir, is there any open source tools available for the Excel sheet that you have shown just now?
So as such, there is no Excel sheet available on the internet. Basically, this Excel sheet was defined by our all HODs and faculties who have means we have a single committee who decides this entire Excel sheet. Okay, once that single Excel sheet is ready, and that Excel sheet is given to all the students, all the faculties, and they are using it directly. That is what it is, not any way standard stuff there. Basically, when that NBA committee visit, ultimately what they look at it, they whether whatever the evaluation you are going to do it, are we measuring it in terms of POs or not? That is what it is expected. Whether you are going to implement what are the curriculum you are implementing, you have a certain objective, whether you are measuring those objectives or not. That is what it is expected for outcome-based education.
Sir, there is one question from myself.
Yeah.
Vijay More from MIT Nashik.
Yeah.
Sir, while defining the COPO matrix and COPOC matrix, okay. So attainment, we also obtained this according to test 1, test 2, and TA NCM exam, and all the things. But one thing I confused in the part of using the, or we can say taking into consideration of what parameters are nothing but like say their participation in other co-curricular activities and other things.
See, one thing I would like to, already I told you how we are going to evaluate the students. I will just show you this. First of all, we will just go through that. So that will be better. Okay. Where is that sheet? Okay. Where it is not here yet, somewhere missed. Okay. We are doing in two parts. One is direct assessment, another is a indirect assessment. Okay. Indirect assessment. Okay, here it is. In direct assessment, we are clubbing this test, assignment, lab, seminar, industrial training, project, and what are the related activities, where the student is appearing for certain exam. And it is typically defined into the curriculum. Means that particular CT1 is defined within 15 marks. CT2 is defined for 15 another marks. 60 marks for ESE exam. Assignment for 10 marks. It is defined, and these are called as direct tools. Okay. When you want to have connect with some extracurricular activities, you can collect an exit survey. You can have an end course survey. You can collect that surveys. If I conduct an NSS camp, let's have one survey for this, and that survey will help us, okay, to analyze these all POs and what are the questions you are going to create it. You give the numbering, we give the questions based on these 12 POs into this. Okay. And this is called as an indirect tools. So this is what a direct tool. This is what an indirect tools. And there isn't one way you can do it. This is for typical course I'm going to talk it. Same way you can do it for typical activities. Like I can have an gathering most of the time we organize it, and you conduct the survey for it. And during this survey, you may nowadays you can put it in a Google form, let the student fill it, and that will give you the particular marking. And that is nothing but the way you can measure it. That is what each and everything you should be measurable. You should convert that into the numbers. That is what it is expected from the OBE.
And that is ultimately then will be the Excel sheet of the
Yeah.
indirect attainment.
Yes, indirect attainment. That is what we call it as an indirect attainment.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
That we are actually doing, but the share is, I think, very much less. I think if we count total CO
Don't
attainment.
worry. Actually, you may have a thought process like, if I get an out of 3, 4.5 or something, this team will give me more mark. It is not like this. Okay. So again, once you define this course outcomes, okay, first of all, you need to decide what is the maximum level I want to achieve it. Just take a simple example. Today I want to have 10 biceps. Okay, this is my target. I could able to complete only 8. Okay, it is not expected you should reach all the time 10, but you need to give now the reasoning for that. That's what their criteria number 7 is there. Okay, criteria number 7 is typically used to whether you have what are these 12 POs. Have you achieved all this? If it is not, then create an action for it, action taken report or something. Why this action taken report is expected? Okay, we have important skill number 1, knowledge base. Okay, and we have decided, yes, I want to achieve 2.5 something level. Okay, and that 2.57 level, this is my target 2.5, but I collected all the courses, everything. I got on a final one single number, summation and average. I'm going to do it, and that is 2.4 something. Now I have on a 0.1 gap. Why that 0.1 gap? Somewhere we have missed to give some more knowledge to the students. That's what that 0.1 gap is there. That is what on a lesser side. So obviously we need to write in a report for it. Yes, we have provided something new knowledge, like we have shared some YouTube videos to inculcate more knowledge on this particular subject, or more knowledge towards this particular skill set like this. And if your value, that PO attainment value comes to be more than 2.5, like a 2.6 or something, 0.1 more, means you are overachieved it. Next year, you may now decide on the next target 2.6 or something. Okay. And then you go on improving. That is what it is called as a continuous improvement. This year I'm going to set the level 2.5. Next year I'm 2.6, 2.7, 2.9, 2.10, like this. I can go on increasing. And this is what it is not, this entire POs cannot be 100% satisfied at any time. Okay. So that's what you need to decide a target, like a target, and work towards the target, not with all the time it should come to the 3 or something. Okay.
Sir, what exactly we will doing here, that every time when syllabus is revised, then we will set the target is to 1 initially, and then gradually we are achieving it to 2 or something 3. Sir, is it necessary to indicate that target always in integer, or we can use fractional part also?
No, yes, it is not necessary. It should be in integers only. You can use it into fractional also. There is no issue in it.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sir,
there any-
I wish to understand this sheet, that in this sheet, in alumni survey, please, sir, share that sheet. In alumni survey, there was only few were ticked.
Okay. Okay.
I wish to understand that. What's that? Is it we are mapping PO with assessment?
See, POs are for entire program. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
Yes. And COs are for particular course.
Yes, sir.
Then I want to achieve all the 12 POs. That is what it is expected. 12 POs I want to achieve it.
Yes.
And for that purpose, I can now take up any kind of an assessment level. Like I am going to test and everything. This is what a typical curriculum will decide. But along with that, I'm going to take a survey of the alumni. Alumni survey will help us to know, yes, I want to have, I will now provide a certain questionnaires for these alumni. And these alumni are going to give me now marks on this. I'm going to give the grading for their answers. So if I say, yes, do you got an appropriate knowledge for mechanical engineer or not? You grade it 1 to 3. So some students have given 2, some students have given 3. So that is what a kind of a survey you can do it. Okay. And that survey you can create in a sum of it and you can connect within a POs. That is what a mapping you can do it. Is that clear?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, myself Zamir Fatima from Maharaja Agri Institute of Technology. I have a query. Sir,
Yeah.
for particular, let's say we have a subject with no lab, and we have tier 2 college, means affiliated college, and the syllabus is designed by the university.
Yes,
Now,
yes.
sir, based on that, we have designed our own course outcomes, but we cannot achieve all the POs. As you said that all the POs must be achieved. If they are not
No,
achieving,
I'm
then
not
we have
said like
to.
this. Madam, I'd like to say clearly that it is not expected.
Okay.
Any of the engineering college over the entire India will achieve this all the POs 100%.
Not 100%. I have a query, just like say ethical issues, some kind of subjects are environmental and sustainability,
This is the
project
ideal situation.
finance, and then such kind of POs cannot be mapped with the particular courses.
Yes,
Then
yes,
we
yes.
should be left them blank.
Yeah.
So then how will we fill this gap, as you are saying, if you are not attaining
So there
particular?
is a criteria number 7. Okay. In criteria number 7, what we are going to do it, we are providing action taken report. What that action taken report suggests? Action taken report means I have on a PO number 1, I achieved 2.5, expected to achieve 2.6. Whatever this gap is 0.1 gap. How can I recover it? Yes, I'm going to give more assignment to students. I'm going to give some links to read the students. I'm going to share some notes for the students, or I may be conducting retesting them, maybe conducting some more tests for them like this. That is what an action taken you are going to include in the criteria number 7. And there you are going to fulfill, or there you are going to identify the gap analysis, I can say. Gap and putting the action based on this gap.
Sir, one more question is there. With performance indicator, can you please tell me again how you are mapping that 3, 2, and 1?
Yes. I will share once. I only shown you for only PO1, not for all the
yes, sir.
POs.
For just explain for PO1, I will understand
Yes.
rest of.
So you have on a course objective 1, 2, 3, and 4. Is it clear?
Yes.
Then you have on a only, this is my PO1. Okay. This is PO1. And then this PO1 will have a competency 1.1 that demonstrate competency in mathematical modeling. Means if that particular subject should have some mathematical stuff into this. Okay. And then demonstrate competency in the basic science, and then demonstrate competency in engineering fundamentals, and then demonstrate competency in the specialized engineering knowledge within a program. So these are the competency level. Now look at the performance indicator. So what are the mathematical modeling? He should able to apply that mathematical model. That is my first competitive performance indicator. Okay. Whether if I'm going to satisfy the CO1, okay, whether it is in CO1, whatever you are defined, whether it includes mathematical analysis or techniques, yes, it includes. Then I will put Y here. If my subject is theoretical, I'll remove this Y. Understand? I'm not going to give the basic knowledge of mathematics. I may be teaching some course like a management course. In that case, I'm not giving basic knowledge about mathematics. I'll just remove it. I will just show it as no. Okay. And then second performance indicator is apply advanced mathematical techniques to the model and solve the electrical engineering problems. Then yes, I'm going to do it. For 3 and 4, it is not there. We are going to define 4 performance indicator for each competency level. Okay, and out of that, I may be mapping only 2s. Okay, I'm going to map only 2. I don't define. I don't want to define any parameter for 3 and 4. So that's what I kept it 0. There is no, as such, there is no other number. Okay, so that's what these are. You can see it is a red color. The same here in competency level 2. I'm only using only one single performance indicator.
Okay.
And 3 number competency level, I'm only using only one single performance indicator, like this. Here also I'm going to use only one. Okay, once we collected this, what you are going to do is, I'm going to just say yes or no for this, whether that particular student is getting knowledge through this process or not. Yes, if it is yes, then put Y, then second Y, okay, then third Y, then fourth Y, and here I can put it Y, fifth Y, okay. So altogether, how many Ys? Total performance indicator, 5 performance indicators. Okay, for PO1.
Okay.
Same is there, you can define for PO2 also, PO3, I say same way you can go up to PO12. That process you can repeat it. Once we done it, altogether I have on a 1 to 5 scale now for performance indicator. But actually mapping, I need to do it 1 to 3 scale.
Okay.
So that's what I can now multiply this factor 3 by 5. Understand?
Okay.
So if I 1 by 5, I will say, then it becomes normalization. 0 to 1, I will get it. Okay? And then that's what, if I'm going to multiply with 3, I'll get either 3, 2. If I say all the yes, I will get 3. If one of is not yes, I'll get 2 and 2. It will take an average of this. Okay? Then I will remove most of the stuff. You can see here, 1 it has come. It is taking average of this. Okay? And then I can have a 0, 1. If any of the performance indicator is not mapping, then I will get 0. Is it clear?
Okay.
PO1. Okay. Okay. Then PO1 is now here. You can just look at it. Here it is coming to the 0. Is it clear? CO1 is connected to the PO1 as a 0 because I connected these 2 sheets like this. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yes. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. महेश 5 मिनिट थांबून फोन करतो लेक्चर. हॅलो हॅलो हॅलो. Yes, is there any doubt or any questions? Okay, we'll come back to our presentation. Okay, we have seen this continuous improvement and everything. Ultimate aim of this COPO mapping is to convert your stuff into certain number. That is what it is expected. Okay, then you can have this all question. I will now show you how to create a question paper for this. Okay, so we'll now have a first. Well, we'll look at step 2. Program PO3. Okay, competency level. What are the competency level for PO3? Design, develop complex problems. Okay, then demonstrate an ability to define a complex, generate diverse set of this, then engineering design and everything. Okay, then now this competency levels are connected with this performance indicator 1, 2, 3. Out of which is going to that particular course outcome, which is going to connect. If all the 3 are connecting, then I will give the marks for 3. If only 2 are connected, I will give the mark for 2. Or none of it is connected, then I will give the 0. That is what in a performance indicator. So it's on a simply program outcome, then competency levels, and then performance indicators. Some competency will have only 3, some may have 2, some may have only 1, like this you can define. And then it is PO sheet, PO and CO mapping, you are going to do it. That is what you can do it. So these are this sheet I will share to you so that you can just put this entire PPT I'm going to share to all of you. Okay. So these are for all 12 views and its performance indicators and something. And these are the remembering, understanding. This is Bloom's taxonomy level. Okay. Then these are the typical questions you can define whether that particular skill has demonstrated or not. How can I do it? If I say remembering level, okay, ability to recall or something. So these are the typical questions will be list, define, tell, describe. Such type of questions are connected to the remembering level. If I say it is understanding, means I will put the question like describe this, describe Newton's law, describe process of something like this, or that is what questions we need to define. Then next is apply, in which we are going to connect with a calculate. Apply means whatever the knowledge we have grabbed, that is to be used in practical or maybe used for analysis purpose. That is what calculate, predict, apply, then solve. All these questions these are the verbs which will be used for testing purpose. Then analysis purpose. Then analysis means you are going to do a categorization. You are doing a certain conclusion you want to withdraw, and these verbs will be used for this. For us evaluating purpose, decide, choose, rank or something. Then for creating, you can create, design, formulate, build, event, like this. Likewise, you can define all this stuff. Okay. Then these are the, again, remembering and all these goals. I'll have one question paper for you people. Okay. I will just show you how can I define a question here. Question paper. This is what a typical model question paper, because I got this PPT somewhere on internet by Ranganathan sir. And he has defined very nicely. That's it. So now first question here in question paper, maybe your exam or any kind of a question. Explain. Explain means it is going to connect with any Bloom's taxonomy level. That is the second level because it is understanding level. Okay, that's what it is. L1, L2 comes out here. Okay, then it is connected to the CO. It has an 8 marks. What is the performance indicator it is going to connect? That is 1.4.1, like this. Means it is on a 4th competency level, first indicator, like this. It is that. Okay, same way you can just look at the rest of the questions and you can connect with the COs and POs and everything. Okay, same way you can have this question paper, you can define it. Once you define this question paper, now it is quite easy to connect the COs and its evaluation. You can give the marks. You can, here this is a maximum marks. If I say the student is getting 12 marks on this, I will say CO3 is completely achieved. If he is getting 10 marks, means it is not completely achieved. Something, it is not 3. It is on the scale of not a 3, but it is less than 3. 2.5 or something like this. Well, that is what an outcome we want to measure. And that is what it is expected as an OBE kind of a model for this. Okay. So we can now create a rubrics. So this kind of a rubrics are typically used for this kind of a rubrics for review purpose. Whenever we are going to conduct any project viva or kind of an assessment of the labs, there you are not going to have a typical question paper. Okay, that entire is decided by examiner itself. Okay, he is asking some questions, and that questions are not same for each and every student. In that case, you can create a rubrics for it. How can we create a rubrics? I can give a total marks. 20% is very poor, 40% is poor up to 40%, average, then good for it, and very good. And based on that, you can create a rubrics table and you go on writing these sheets. And these sheets will be ultimately used for assessing your project examinations or any seminars, projects, or any minor projects, or any kind of other skill sets for this case. Okay. So these are the typical question papers. This is again the same kind of a question paper for civil engineering subject. Okay, here they have given a maximum marks CO1, Bloom's level, then PO which is connected for this, then PI like this. Yes. So ultimately, basically, when you are going to do an MBA, what is basically you are first of all defining vision mission of the institute. So that is, I'm going to give you a brief idea why this particular criteria is like this, each and every stuff. Vision mission of the institute. Then you are going to define the curriculum for it. It is nothing but a story, entire story of this entire 3 years of story of your institute. Okay. Then you are going to define COPOs and you are determining the COPOs, whatever the program curriculum you are implementing into the teaching learning process. And COPO, you are going to define it. And then once you define it, you are coming with certain numbers. Okay, these numbers are nothing but telling you how much your institute is connected to this 12 POs. Okay, and how much it is achieving. What is the scope for improvement? What is the way you can think of to what more skills you can include it? So that is what in a POs it is expected. And then you are going to give some more information like in a student performance, exam, how much all these exams, and maybe the students are going to attend some conferences, publishing papers, filing patents, so many things you are going to include. Then faculty contribution, how many PhDs are there? How many years he is going to be there in the institute? What is its technical contribution? What is its non-technical contribution? Each and everything will be included. Then what kind of facilities? Okay, this is not in our hand. But next is what? 7th criteria, which will help us to connect the CO and PO again back to back. That is what action taken report. That is continuous improvement report. And that is here you are. What are the gap into this? You may have decided certain objective or certain targets for your each and every POs. I want to achieve this PO number 1 or PO number 5 out of 3, 2.5. Okay. And if you are not achieved it, what action you have taken? And that action taken also to be there for each and every course, not each and every course, but it is for the entire single department for each and every year. Okay, each and every year. And then first year criteria will be then each and everything is included in the first year academics. And the rest of the things are that you can understand. Okay. So these are the typically COPO mapping. If you have any questions, you can ask. And these are some sheets. You can just go through these sheets.
Sir,
yeah.
you have used in performance indicator like say 1.4.1. What that 1.4.1 specifically means, sir? Kindly elaborate.
Yes. I will just share. I will just show you this. Okay. Just look at it.
Okay.
PO1, here it is my CO1. This is my competency level 1.1. Okay. And out of that, to achieve this competency means what is that competency? To demonstrate competency in mathematical modeling. Okay. In that, I defined 2 performance indicators. I applied 2 parameters for this. One parameter, the student should understand basic technique, mathematical technique, linear algebra or something. Second, they should apply advanced technique like solving the electrical engineering problem. First of all, they should know what is calculus, what is linear algebra, and what is statistics. Okay. Then they should apply it into the electrical engineering. These are the 2 parameters I put it. Okay.
So
these are the performance indicators.
Sir, there will be total 12 like PO1, PO2, PO3.
Yes, that's what we can define this entire sheet. This is for PO1. Same is there for PO2. You can just look at this PO2. Okay. Same is there for PO3. Okay. I'm going to give only one demonstration. The same is there for PO4, 5, and altogether PO12, here up to 12 like this. Understand? This is up to 12 like this.
And what about in case of CO, sir?
CO is already defined because you are going to connect these POs with this CO because this performance indicators. Okay, now look at this performance indicator number 1. Okay, is achieved. Yes, mathematical knowledge you are going to give into the CO1. Yes, I'm going to give it. For CO2, yes, I'm going to give it. CO3, yes, I'm going to give it. For CO4, I'm not going to give this performance indicator. I'll put it no.
Okay.
Okay, and then I'm going to create an average of it, and I'm going to evaluate this. And this numbers will ultimately come and sit it here. Understand?
Okay.
This number will come and sit it here. And this is what a CO1 is connected with a PO1 through this performance indicator, competency labels. Okay, these are the mediators to connect this.
So these are the inside details of this
COPO mapping.
COPO mapping. Okay.
Yes. Because when I was initially when I started the NBA activity, because I was very much fed up with this NBA activity, then I decided, yes, now try to understand this, and then I came to know all this stuff, and then we put this all into the particular sheet, and so this is what is the entire scenario of it. Because PO1 is a general, CO1 is your to the course specific. So this is what nothing but these two things I need to connect it. Okay. This is what connection I want to do. How can I connect? I can look at the competency level. I can look at the performance indicator. And these two are going to help me to connect these two.
So
and
how many performance indicators should be there in?
So it is not expected, at least one or two should be there, not more than that. Because already it is there defined in particular courses. You can just go through the NBA site. There you can find performance indicator for all the courses. Okay, competency level and courses.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
you can define at least 4. You can define maximum 4. And if you are defining more, obviously you will get more confused. It is expected to define lesser.
Okay. Yes. Sir, it seems you have worked very hard for these COPO.
Yes. Yeah.
Sir, good evening.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Sir, regarding action taken, for one batch, present batch, we will do action taken, we will mention that result should be in next batches, no, sir? Not for that batch.
Yes. No, yes, it is expected the same thing. Yes.
That batch is over, that batch is completed. Depending upon their performance, we will find out action taken.
Yes.
Sure. Okay, sir. But this CO mapping is very, very cumbersome, very, very hard, sir, to understand.
So my request to you is that first of all, sit with all your senior faculties in the institute, define each and everything, create a template, and distribute template to each and everyone, and tell them to use only, and make that it should be in a smooth enough that particular faculty is using. See, if new faculty is going to join it, he can't understand quite easily, and that he may mess up with this entire sheet. So make sure that you can create in a small program also. You can create on web, and you can have directly yes, no, and create this. That's it. You need not to worry about it. And once because nowadays everything we are working on online, okay, online stuff. And this will help us to create the sheets directly. You need not to go on doing by hand calculations or something. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thanks.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
This is Dr. Jagdish from Mysore, sir. So actually, it was a very informative session. So I think you have done a very hard work regarding that COPO mapping, sir. Is it possible to share us so that we can at least
yes.
template?
See, what I will do? Yes, I will share my Excel sheet as well as PPT to each and everyone. I'll share to your coordinator. Coordinator is going to share to all of you.
Thank you, sir.
This knowledge is not my own. It is created by the people. I just compiled it, and I am ready to share everything.
Yes, sir. It was good, sir. Actually, you have done a lot of the exercise on that.
Whenever you are using an Excel sheet, make sure that you are applying whatever the OB philosophy properly into this. If you are changing it, it is expected you should understand each and everything. If you are not understood, obviously everything will get messed up. Because most of the people, what they do, they create an Excel sheet by 1, 2, 3 numbers only. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes. And one more thing, sir, when we are identifying the gaps, can you just elaborate how we can go it? Because as of now, what we are following is we'll just sit with all the faculties and faculty will map with COPO mapping, and somewhere we'll be identified the gaps initially, and those gaps will be evaluated after the batch is passed out. Is that the way is correct, or how can we identify the gaps initially before going with this?
Actually, so basically it is in a continuous improvement process. What you are going to do it, if you are going to start your semester, you have a few lectures and then we will conduct one test. Okay. First test will tell you how much amount of POs you have achieved it. Okay. If some of the PO it is not expected to be in a achieved properly, then you can put it immediate action in that particular batch itself. Okay. If it is completely end sem is over, then it becomes difficult to do this. Some in autonomous kind of an institute, you can implement quite easily because you have an entire batch in your hand and you can decide way of the assessment. But on most of other institute, it becomes quite difficult. You can implement into next year or something. But next year batch students may not be that much interesting for that particular subject. There again, you will find some another problem. And that's what this is called as a continuous improvement program.
So my question is, when you have started with the initial gaps, which way we can follow to identify the gap for the particular batch or so?
So you can identify a simple gap like whether that particular student achieved in a particular knowledge in mathematics, whether particular subject knowledge they have acquired or not. That is what in a gap. And if it is not acquired it, you may be giving some assessment, you may be giving some test for them, you may be sharing some of the notes for them, or some project you are going to tell them, or you tell them, oh, you go and visit particular place and try to understand this particular concept, like in a clutch you want to learn, and tell them go and get into the automobile lab, try to understand practically how that clutch works or something like this. This kind of an activity you can assign them. That is what expected. Okay.
So my clarification is whether it is related to the syllabus oriented gap or it is with respect to the student.
No. See, it is that gap is related to POs, not within a syllabus. Because COs we are defining, and that CO is defining to the defined based on your syllabus, and that COs are only connected to your syllabus. POs are not connected to the syllabus, and where that what are the matrix is there, articulation matrix. There you are going to connect with both of this. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. That means to say it is related to with respect to our CO, we are finding out the gaps.
Yes. That is what.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Sir, you have very beautifully explained performance indicators, but in that sheet, competency level was also there.
Yeah, I told you per particular competency, you may have 1, 2, 3 performance indicators.
Okay.
Yeah. For a typical, I have on a PO1. Under that PO1, I defined 3 competency level. And first competency level will have a 3 to 4 performance indicator. Second competency level 1, 2, 3 performance indicator. It is like this.
Okay.
I'll share that sheet. You can come to know in detail.
Okay.
How to use it.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Myself, Dr. Hampade. Once again, got an opportunity to listen your thrilling sessions.
Thank you, sir.
The thing is, now we are conducting a class test also in the objective type questions.
Yeah.
Okay. So regarding competency, if all questions are asked for 1 marks, will it not be a problem?
See, competency level and performance indicator will lead to only performance, that is a COPO matrix. Okay. And you are going to conduct that sheet. Okay. whatever you are going to test it, maybe 1 mark or 2 mark you can give it for this particular test, and you can sum it. I can have a multiple competency, multiple questions only looking for a particular competency. That also may happen. Don't worry about it.
Sir, excuse me, sir. Suppose if you are defining CAY, CAY1 and CAY2. Okay. Suppose our institute is going for a NBA accreditation. We need to do this for competencies achieved for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
So then for the competencies evaluation based on the unit test performance, how we need to modify? Because all are our 1 mark questions, no? CT1 and CT2.
See, that's what I'm saying.
We are not asking 4 marks, 2 marks.
That's what I'm saying.
And we are not gauging them their competency.
So my question is that you have on a 30 questions of 1 mark. That's what you are having in a 30 marks assessment. Out of these 30 questions, maybe 4 questions are connected with a competency level 1. Another 2 questions are connected to the competency level 2. That is what you need to map it. Understand?
Okay.
Did you got this? So that is what the way you can connect this with maybe a multiple questions are connected within a competency level, and you can assess it. So it is not expected that 4
clubbing needs to be done.
Yeah, clubbing is to be done.
Clubbing has to be done.
Clubbing.
So there should be some stitching of questions and evaluations.
Yeah.
And evaluations has to be performed. Yeah. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Namaste, sir.
Namaste.
Sir, first year subjects mapped with only PO1 and PO2, na, sir?
No, it is not expected. In first year, you may be giving some science project to the students. Obviously, the higher POs also will be mapped for this.
Okay.
Yeah, it is not expected 1 or 2 are only connected with first year courses or something. Okay. Connected with other courses, other POs also. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Sir. So, okay, now we'll have some concluding remark on this entire session. So, what is the roles of teachers? Review POs, course structure, syllabus, then teach the relevant engineering mathematics and other relevant subjects, conduct relevant tutorials, laboratory practical sessions, give appropriate guidance to the assignment and project, and conduct empirical measurements of POs, prepare required documentation, and ensure what are the assessment for this. Okay, and involve yourself in continuous quality improvement part. And now we'll look at what is the role of the students. Okay, know about this, because make sure that whenever you are going to your visit is conducting, then before that your student should know we are passing through this outcome-based education. Make aware about it. So they should know for what it is there, what does that outcome. It is not expected each and every one detail they should know it, but at least they should aware that we are going through the accreditation, and during this accreditation it is outcome-based education, and what does that outcome-based education means. That okay, and student also should be involved in the feedback, surveys, so many other places. Okay. So this is all for today's session. Thank you. Thank you, Surte sir. Narote sir.
Sir, thank you very much for an excellent session.
Thank you, sir. If they have any questions, they can ask me.
Sir, मला एक question होता
Sir.
Sir, attainment level, I didn't get me. Attainment level is the review. I don't have.
Mal neat ऐकू आलं नाही. Whatever. Can you?
Hello, sir.
Can you ask once again?
Sir, is the attainment level the fruitful result COPO mapping, or it is independent, sir? I am first time attending, so it is
okay. Actually, attainment level Attainment level means what is that? We are each and everything we are converting into 1 to 3 scale. Okay. And how much you have attained it, that particular PO. PO1 having a 1 to 3 scale, PO2 will have a 1 to 3 scale like this up to 12 POs. Out of that, I achieved only 2.5. This is nothing but a level achieved. That is what an attainment level I can say it.
Sir, next question, is it per student or individual student?
See, later on, first of all, you are going to determine per student and taking average of all the students. Okay, average of all the students, and then total single number will come. Okay, it is defined in the Excel sheet. Okay, this Excel sheet will I'm going to share. In that Excel sheet, you can see average is determined, and that average is reflecting into a single number like this.
Ideally, it's the attainment level should be matching with COPO. Is it right?
Yes,
sir?
yes.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry, no voice in this particular this. That's why I asked.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Suhas sir. Now I request Professor Chaudhary to continue further.
I think he is not muted. He is not audible.
Chaudhary sir, you are not audible. Chaudhary sir, you are not audible. Okay. There are.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Yes, sir. First of all, I am thankful to Dr. Suhas Deshmukh sir for accepting our invitation and sharing their expertise with us on topic defining POs, and their mapping. It was a nice session and informative presentation. Sir also elaborated the importance of COPO mapping with some examples. So this will be helpful for those institutions which are undergoing for the NPI accreditation process. Thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation. Thank you once again, sir.
Sir, thank you very much for sparing your valuable time, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yes,
thank you,
sir.
sir.
Okay,
Thank you
sir.
very much.
चला सर भेटूया परत.
Yes, sir. Surely we'll meet, sir. Okay, bye.
Okay.
So
Bye.
tomorrow's morning session will start at 10 o'clock again.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Bye.
Bye.